there are 4 main categories of equipment: bats, gloves, batting gloves, and cleats that baseball players have to buy, and I'm going to give you the rundown of which ones really matter, which ones you should spend your money on, and which ones maybe don't matter as much, okay? Let's start off with the cleats and work our way up. Cleats. I don't think that it matters too much, especially at young ages, what cleats you have. Once you get up to the higher levels, yeah, having a little bit lighter maybe helps. Having a little bit more comfortable might help you feel a little bit better, maybe prevent you from rolling your ankles, but all in all, from what I've seen, whether you're spending 50 bucks on cleats or whether you're spending 150 bucks on cleats, there's going to be a very comparable performance. One's not going to slow you down too much. I personally love New Balance and the way that they feel just from a comfort standpoint, but other than that, I would say that cleats, you don't have to worry too much about spending a lot of money, especially when you're young. Maybe once you're older, you're playing college ball, yeah, splurge, get the cleats that are comfortable. Now, let's move up to batting gloves. Is it important for you to have super expensive batting gloves? Now, I say this as someone who has represented Bruce Bolt. I say this as someone who loves Bruce Bolt and will only wear these batting gloves. I don't think it matters too much what batting gloves you wear when it comes to performance. And the reason that I say that is all that matters is how you swing the bat, and as long as you have a decent grip on the bat, it's not going to make that big of a difference what batting gloves you use. That being said, I will say there is a give and take in quality, because there was a time where I used another brand of batting gloves and they ripped very quickly, so I ended up running through 2 to 3 pairs within the span of 2 months, whereas had I got something a little bit more quality, they definitely would have lasted me at least 6 months to a year, and so that's where it actually was more cost effective for me to go with the more expensive batting gloves. But when we're talking about strictly performance on the field, a new pair of batting gloves is not going to help you hit any better. I don't care what anybody tells you. Now, when it comes to fielding gloves, I do believe that this is where quality starts to matter a lot. When you buy a fielding glove, if you buy something that is $70, you're going to see a substantial difference in quality between that and something that is $200. And that glove that is a lot cheaper might be fine for the younger ages and when you're beginning, but once you start playing high-level baseball, there will be a difference in the way that that glove lasts over time, the way that it holds its shape and the way that it holds its form. And so this is where, if you're serious about baseball, I recommend investing in a high-quality glove around the ages of 10 and up. If you plan on playing high-level baseball, it's just going to save you money in the long run. If you buy a cheap glove, you're going to get poor performance out of it, and it's not going to last you a long time. I genuinely believe that the glove that you have matters. But now, the final and fourth, and probably the most important that you guys are wondering, bats. Obviously, Headbanger Sports sells all kinds of bats. Does it matter what bat you swing? This is where I say there are things that really do matter. What matters with a bat is what size you swing. So if you're swinging a bat that is way too big for you, especially at a young age, you're going to struggle. It is going to cause some bad swing tendencies. It is going to be bad for you. I would say err on the side of using a lighter bat, especially at younger ages. The size of bat you use does matter. That being said, if you go to Big 5 and you get a bat for $35 or you get a bat for $60, there will be a noticeable quality difference between that bat and something that you get at Headbanger Sports for $200 to $300. There is a quality difference between bats, but only to a certain point. What I have found in my personal experience, and I could be wrong on this, is that there's not that big of a quality difference between bats that are over, say, $150. All of those bats seem to perform relatively similar. All bats that are under $150 tend to have a lot of durability issues. They're going to give you some issues a lot of times. However, those bats that are over $150, as a general rule, those bats will perform very similarly. So I recommend that you take a lot of time and care to make sure that you get the right size bat so that you're confident when you step into the plate. But yeah, it does matter what bat you have, but it's also not going to fix your swing. You can have the hottest bat in the game and strike out every single time. So that's where I say, yes, bats do matter. The quality does matter, but up to a certain point, make sure that you're sized right. So that's the recap. Equipment does matter all in all, whether it's a bat, whether it's a glove, whether it's batting gloves, or whether it's cleats. Equipment does matter, but to varying degrees. So that's where you need to make a decision on what you're willing to spend your money on, and also take into account what age and skill level of a ball player you're buying for, because if it's a younger age, it might not be worth investing in some of the higher ticket items like gloves or bats. You might want to go with something a little bit cheaper, but those are just the factors to weigh as someone who has gone through it and has played at every single level there is. As always, I'm Coach RAC with Headbanger Sports, and we'll see you guys next week.